Welcome guys to another video. This one is going to be an atty stand using some stabilized wood resin and a Luke Skywalker and a Darth Vader Lego character. So here's the wood after taking out the pot. It's going to be stabilized. This is the mold. You can see the little tenon that I made. So I'm using a aluminite slow part A. Part B, this gives me 12 minutes to play around with. You have to get this exactly right, this one, and it needs a very good stir, otherwise you get cloudiness and bubbles in it. So just going to pour that into that tenon that I made, and that's going to give me a place where I can put it into the lathe, and then once that's there, it goes straight into my pressure pot. Alright, now the wood. So I've chipped out a little bit so the Lego pieces can sit there. Mr. Darth Vader there and Mr. Luke Skywalker. We're going to make a little fight scene. So 2-part epoxy, 5-minute dry time. Mix that up. I'm actually putting some powder dye onto this, pearlescent micro pearl, I believe it's called. Goes onto the wood. I was trying to make like a snow effect on top of the wood to create a sort of what would you call it? A snowy area, snowy fight scene, should I call it? So you can see me just putting it all over the wood. Getting it in all the little cracks and nooks and crannies in there. This is the other one, as obviously the resin, the epoxy dried very quickly. So again, same thing with the other one. Pop it on the other one, and then leave that to dry about 5 or 10 minutes, and it's dry. You got to be quick as well. There you go. That's what it looks like. So going to pop them two there, and I'm going to pop some glue onto the bottom of where that little stand bit I put there, so that I can put the figurines onto that little platform there. So Darth Vader first here, and then Mr. Luke Skywalker. Just hold them there for a few minutes, let them dry, and then that's ready. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pop the wood in place on top of that little tenon first. So again, 5-minute epoxy just in the center there, one on one side. Pop that into place, hold it there for a few moments, and then ready for the other one. And so same thing with the other one, 5-minute epoxy into sort of the center there on top of the wood, and pop that one also in place. So I wanted a gap between the two because I wanted to make like a river or a stream in between them in that gap. So that's going to be the first thing I do. So part A, some resin. Part B, get another good stir, 2 minutes, and then blue dye. Give that a stir, and I also added some pearl powder into that blue as well, just to give it a little maybe icy sort of effect, and then pour that into the gaps, trying not to get it onto any of the other pieces of wood, just in the gaps there. And once that was done, once I got enough, that then goes into my pressure pot. So once out the pressure pot, here you can see it's hardened or cured, and then we'll go on to the next part, which is the clear resin over the top. So part A and part B, and this used about 400 grams. I believe it was a lot of resin because it was needed to be quite big. So again, 2 minute stir, good old stir, and then that's ready to go. So this one, just pour in the mould straight to the top. And then back into the pressure pot once that's done for about 48 hours. And then it will be done. So yeah, after 48 hours, that's the mould, that's the cast done. And then I'm just going to take out the mould here. And you can see that tenon on the bottom there. I did actually lose the tenon and had to put a different one on there afterwards. But yeah guys, here we go, turning time.